employee performance tracker. All of you are requested to be on mute, guys. Yes, sir. Yes, I will do that. Just a minute, sir. Yes, sir.
So hi everyone, can you hear me?
Yes, you're audible, sir. Yes, students,
Uh,
please give thumbs
all
up.
the links. Yes, I could hear from everyone. Okay, good morning, and I hope you had a great day and you understood the concepts of use cases, modeling, and also the tone of the entire various milestones and the status report. So what we'll do today, um, since you're all on project developing an Android for two uh, different is. Oh, somebody's saying my voice is not clear. Can you hear me now? Okay. I think voice is not it's breaking, scratchy. Uh, Tirumal, you can enable the audio it again.
Yes, sir.
I think there's a lot of echo in this. You need to disable for any.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Should be better now, guys. Just check out.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now coming out better.
Is it better?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sounds good. Now it's good. Thank you. So that yours is an Android app development. Most of the new age application development, other than the enterprise applications, all the UI UX developments are being done using the methodology called Agile. And over the next few minutes, I will take you through basics of Agile methodology and also take you through what it means to your project. If someone is not able to hear clearly.
Still, in between, it is breaking, sir. For some moment, it's coming clearly. Yes, students. Yes. Okay, we have taken the note that the voice is not clear for you people. Okay. Check now, students. Is it audible now clearly for you people? Just give me reaction based on that. Is it clearly audible now? Yeah. So just like wait for like a few, like 1 or 2 minutes. So once the like once we are like into the topic, like for once In 1 or 2 minutes, it might get better. Once we start talking continuously, right? Once we start to talk continuously, it might get better. Clear, everyone? Okay, okay. Let us so keep us posted. Just one of you can put up a message in the chat box. That is also good. Yeah. Okay. Rajesh was okay, 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 okay. Okay. Just hear out for 1 or 2 minutes, guys. It will get better. Okay. Yes. Yes.
Okay, thanks. Well, let me ask clear. Well, let me literally put the mic in my mouth. So, quickly, I'll take you through the basics and the elements of Agile and Scrum so that you can differentiate yourself if you have studied in your software engineering courses. Next slide, please. So, today, what we'll be doing is we'll go through quickly how Agile has become a go-to process for all the app development, the business developments, modern era. We'll also look at the four key values, value parameters of Agile. I think two screens are not able to hear me. I'll also take you through quickly the Scrum framework, what its roles. There's a lot of background noise. Mm, just a second. Mm, Uh, you guys hear any background noise now? Okay. People are not able.
Okay, guys. Just check.
Actually, from my side, I have switched off my speaker so that I can only talk. I can't hear what you're speaking other than the chat sessions. Okay. So from my side, there is no speaker. It's only the mic. And whatever you need to communicate with me, just put it on the chat box. I'll be responding to that. Okay. Somebody says it's audible. Somebody is not audible. Okay, fair enough. So quickly we'll go through the Agile as a framework, the four values of Agile. I'll briefly explain you what the Scrum framework looks like, what are the various roles and activities and ceremonies you need to do, and how do you effectively write user stories, and also break down your entire 16 weeks into manageable pieces of work, and how do you take it forward in a more systematic and a methodical way. Next slide, please. So quickly we'll go through what is an agile is. Like agile focuses primarily upon a functioning product or a functional application rather than getting hung up on the documentation part of it. So when we are looking at an agile framework, the focus is on a working software, not only on the documentation part of it. So my suggestion here in this case, it's not a written rule, but there has to be a fine balance between how much of documentation is required versus a functionally working prototype or a project. Focus on the project, focus on a working deliverable. You should also have a bare minimum requirement in terms of documenting it. The question is, what do you document and how frequently you need to document. Documentation cannot take precedence to a working software or a product. Okay, so that is I would say, the core of the agile methodology, and that pretty much forms the essence of the methodology. People can't hear me. What happened? Can you guys hear me now? I think some of them are able to hear, some of them are not. I think two or three links are able to hear. The remaining two links not able to hear. Uh, Tirumal, you might want to check that. Okay. So we'll continue on this. So the next slide, please. Tirumal. So the working software is the primary objective of the agile methodology, and how do you achieve going about it? If you compare with the uh, Tirumal, looks like in two of the screens my mic is muted, so that's the reason they can't hear me.
Okay. One no, sir. Just a minute. I'll just recheck it. And me, I have given you host permission. Now it should be. So now it should be available. So this. So please check now, sir.
No, I think everybody can hear me now.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Yes, sir.
So, in a classical, waterfall model of the past, which is the traditional model, everybody was focused upon building monolithic applications, which are very large, long duration, very complex architectures and complex functionalities. With the development and with the evolution of all the web technologies and modern technologies and development software, the entire software development lifecycle and the processes have undergone fundamental change. I mean, unlike the waterfall models, and I'm not getting into the software engineering part of it because you guys are all expert in that. The entire software development process has been broken down into a small sets of activities called as sprints. This is a sprint of no more than 1 to 2 weeks, where the focus is on breaking down the entire project into small, manageable functionalities which can be delivered to the client, and they can get a sense of it into small pieces of deliverables. The entire plan, do, check, review, and deliver is all done in a very short time span of between 1 to 2 weeks. It's just enough size and complexity where you can do the planning, you can build the code, you can do the design and architecture, and finally deliver it. This agile methodology also provides an opportunity to even modify certain requirements as we go along with the project. In the traditional waterfall model, it's not possible to change even a single requirement because the customer can actually see the project finally delivered. You can actually see the project being delivered in small pieces of deliverables, which makes the customer very comfortable in saying that the project is under process. They are able to see the entire progress in small chunks of deliverables. And wherever possible, if there is a requirement change, the requirement change can happen immediately. And you can actually accept those changes directly or indirectly. you know and the project can also have a look at it from a very, very close proximity, and the customers can also have the flexibility to add or delete any requirements as we progress in the life cycle. So it's simply because this in this way, what I have seen is the project can be monitored closely by the customer, and the customer also has the ability to add or delete or modify certain requirements as the project progresses. So agile methodology gives you that flexibility to to the customers as well as to the developing team to constantly be connected with the progress of the project. So the agile methodology is a very modern tool which helps you to closely monitor the progress of the project and also easily break down into small chunks of releases rather than waiting for one large release to happen after 3 months, 6 months, or even a year. There is a possibility that there is a possibility that the customer can see the project delivered in small pieces of time. It's like this, build as you consume. Say, for example, you're building a 5-bedroom house. Probably if one bedroom, one kitchen, one living room is ready, you can start living in it, and the rest of the house is built as you start living in it. And you can even have a close watch on how the house is being built. In case you want to have it small changes here and there, you can still do it rather than waiting for the entire house to be built and after that realizing, oh, I should have done this or I should not have done that. So there is an analogy between an agile development versus a waterfall model. Next slide, please. So when you are looking at agile as a methodology, it also provides you certain advantages which will go through it. So what are those advantages of an agile methodology which waterfall doesn't offer? Okay, Tirumal, next slide, please. So in the agile methodology, there is something called as an agile manifesto. The agile manifesto is a very clear articulation of the values every agile project need to follow. These are an absolutely must values, and I would recommend that each one of you, even though it's a solo project, you all need to follow these principles very strongly and closely. Okay, so what are those values of an agile project? The values of an agile project, the first one is the focus is on individuals and the collaborations. It's about understanding each other, understanding each other's perspective, understanding each other's priorities, understanding each other's requirements, because that's how a collaborative project is worked. Rather than saying, oh, I am a requirements guy, I will only do requirements. I am a developer, I'll only focus on development. Oh, I am I'm a designer, I'll only focus on design. I'm not looking into anything else. I think those barriers have to be broken, and Agile gives you that flexibility to be collaboration. There are no hierarchies in the project. There are only various roles to be played in the project. So individuals are more important than the processes and than the tools what you deliver. Second value is focus on delivering a working project. Don't focus overtly on the processes or on the documentation or on something else. Your only objective in the project is you all need to deliver a working project. That means your app, whatever you are producing, should be working in terms of functionality, in terms of the use case definition, in terms of all the functional and the non-functional requirements. Focus is on that, not on what, oh, I am a project manager, oh, I am a team lead, I am a developer, I am an architect, I don't know this, I will only do this. No. It is expected that in most of the agile projects, everybody is a full stack developer. When you talk about a full stack developer, you are very clear and having strong expertise on the front end, the middle tier, and the back end, including talking to the customers and eliciting the requirements. You need to have all those skills there so that you are a comprehensive software developer and your ability to deliver a working software as a team is very high. In your case, as an internship project of a solo, anyway, you are doing everything on your own, right? From requirements to design to architecture. Sometimes it's good to know that, start thinking, how would this project, if it becomes complex, how can you play multiple roles, and what are the skills you need to develop to be an effective team member in an agile project. The third extreme important is your customer collaboration. The agile methodology gives you that flexibility and the opportunity to constantly interact with the customer on a regular basis. I'll tell you how frequently the customer can be contacted in the next slide. But this slide, just 1 second, please. So this slide highlights the importance of customer collaboration on a regular basis. There is a continuous engagement with the customer so that there is a flow of information and updates on both the sides. You can show the customer what has been done, what has been progressed, plan versus delivery. The customer is also communicating with you on a very positive note if there are any changes on their business requirement. Please understand that you are actually building a product to a customer because customer has a business requirement. If the business requirement changes, the project also has to undergo a change. You cannot say no. There's no point in developing a feature or a particular element or a business process which is not being used or which is not likely to be used by the customer. The customer wants some changes to be done. It has to be done with zero impact on the cost and the timeline. In the waterfall model, that is not possible. But in agile methodology, you can prioritize the requirements in such a way you can accommodate those important changes now, and the good to have features, you can actually move it to the next release. So you can release the software into multiple releases rather than one big bang release at the end of 3 months, 6 months, or could be a year. So customer collaboration is a very important value in the agile manifesto, which also have already spoken about the fourth one, which is responding to the change. So the customer collaboration and change management go hand in hand, and that creates a very healthy working atmosphere between the development team and the customer. And many a time I have seen that in complex projects, the customer also plays a significant role as a part of the team. And in the next slide, you will see how customers also get actively involved in your project development lifecycle. Next slide, please. So in the agile methodology, one important element everybody needs to understand is the role of a Scrum framework. The agile methodology lives and breathes only using a Scrum framework. Scrum framework is a very lightweight software development lifecycle management process where the focus is on delivering value to the client and in short duration cycles called as sprint. Waterfall model is all about a marathon. Agile methodology is all about running the entire race into small chunks of sprints. Could be 100 meters, could be 50 meters, but not a 200-meter sprint. You can't do that. In Scrum, there are three elements which you need to be understanding it. One is the Scrum roles. What are the Scrum events, which are also called as ceremonies? And there are something called as Scrum artifacts, which are nothing but a set of bare minimum documents. What are the Scrum roles? Scrum roles that every project will have a project owner, a Scrum master, and a development team. Project manager or project owner is the representation of the customer in your project. That means the product owner behaves like a customer. The product owner wears the hat of a customer to see that whatever the customer is expecting, it is being developed and delivered. What is also important in this case is that the product owner is also the owner of any backlogs or any constraints in the project. When I talk about backlogs, I will explain to you how the backlogs are created and how do you monitor them. The product owner also changes the priorities of various functionalities to be released. Sometimes what happens is that you might have thought that a particular functionality or a particular set of user stories to be released in the third or the fourth sprint, but now it has to be delivered in the first sprint. So that reorientation of the deliverables is done by the product owner because that is related to the business requirement. You have what is called as a Scrum Master, which pretty much is the orchestrator of the entire symphony. The Scrum Master is the process owner for the entire project. It controls the flow of information, the flow of deliverables. Someone who is responsible to identify any roadblocks, any speed breakers, any issues, any conflicts. The Scrum Master also takes care of the people management part of it. The Scrum Master stand-ups to the team in case of any challenges the team is facing. And finally, you have the development team, which pretty much is the bulk of the team. Most of them are full stack developers. They know the job, they develop it, they test it, and they deliver it. See, these are the three critical roles in any Scrum project, and everybody adheres to the Scrum as a framework. What are the various activities which happens in the Scrum project? Every Scrum will have a sprint. A sprint is nothing but a small work package from start to finish. It is no more than 1 to 2 weeks. And every project, you need to have a sprint planning where the team gets together in a room and plan for the activities in that sprint, what is to be done in every sprint, and it is baselined. Once every sprint is defined and documented, every team meets in a room every day, what is called as a daily stand-up for about 10 to 15 minutes. It doesn't go more than 15, 20 minutes. After that, it becomes a pretty useless meeting. The meeting is all about what did I do, what was planned, what was delivered, did we deliver it on time, quality, cost? Is there any constraints for the sprint to be developed? Any challenges which happened yesterday? Can we fix it today? And all the daily backlogs are recorded and addressed by the Scrum Master. So this is where, in daily stand-up and daily review meeting, the backlogs are recorded and discussed, and they are taken care. Very important to reduce the backlogs at a day level rather than looking at a weekly level or even at a fortnightly level. By then, the backlogs would have been so much, it just couldn't have been managed. So daily stand-up and daily sprint review meetings are very important. They are mandatory, and it's important that everybody contributes in that stand-up meeting and review meetings. If anybody is having any challenge, just raise them and get them addressed rather than pushing it in under the carpet for, oh, I'll take it up later. Please note that along with the sprint meeting and review meetings, every team member and every project team has to do a retrospect call or a meeting where they need to look back and say, what has worked, what has not worked. Can we fix all that things which have not worked? Can we reprioritize things? What did we learn in the process? Okay, last two sprints, we were literally working 20 hours a day. Can we do something where the subsequent sprints, we only work about 8 to 10 hours a day? I'll give a small example. You break down your own project into sprints for about a week. Your entire project is divided into 6 to 8 sprints. And every sprint is not more than a week. Like every day, at the beginning of the day, you know what you're going to deliver and complete as a set of tasks or number of use cases or user stories you need to develop for the day. You would have planned for about 6 to 8 hours of work. For whatever be the reason, the work has become like a 10-hour or a 12-hour or even a 15-hour day. Something has gone wrong. You planned for 8 hours, you are doing the same work for 15 hours. So that means something has fundamentally gone wrong. It could be a technology gap, it could be a domain gap, it could be an internet issue, or it could be something else. But what has been planned has not worked. It's time for you to be retrospective of it and say that, why has it happened? If something has gone wrong or something, for example, like you didn't know about it, technical knowledge was a gap. Spend the rest of the day in fixing up those gaps, learn something, practice something, so that tomorrow when you start your another work day, you are able to do that work in a time frame which has been estimated rather than doing the same thing all over again for 15 to 18 hours a day. So sprint retrospective activity is a very important learning activity for you to fix what has not worked. And what are the various documentation you need to be following? One is definitely the product or the project backlog, the sprint backlog, and the constant monitoring on what has been delivered and what is left to be delivered, which is also called as an increment document. So these three are absolutely must requirements in case of an agile development. Of course, there are the other documents of the requirements, the use cases, the BRDs, the ERDs, and the DFDs. Those are requirements. But other than that, there is nothing much to be delivered in case of a agile methodology Scrum framework. Next slide, please. So, in case of this very user-friendly, customer-friendly framework, the central part of it is all about what are you developing for. Yes, there are use cases we have developed, but there is something between the PRD and the use cases, and that is nothing but a user story. So the entire project is broken down into user stories. This project, the sizing of the project can be done by number of user stories and number of use cases. So user story is something which a user would narrate to you like a story. It's not a requirement, but it actually becomes the root cause of a requirement. In the agile framework, anything you write it on a whiteboard or you type it on a paper or you write it down in a Word document, that becomes a requirement. So the user story is a simple plain English version of a particular business requirement or a necessity the user is expecting you to deliver. Say, for example, in your case, in case of a spend sense, the requirement says that I want to see my weekly expense on a dashboard so that I can monitor it very closely and cut down all the expenses wherever I'm spending more than required. It's a user story. It's also a business requirement. You just write it down in plain English on a whiteboard, and you need to have the right skills and the competencies to break down that user story into various use cases. And how do you do that? That's a skill. You need to have the skills of listening skills, the writing skills, the documenting skills, and the ability to break down a very complex user story into simple atomic level use cases. So as a software engineer, it's not the skill alone of a Python or a Java or a .NET or a C or a C++ is required. I think today the focus is on your ability to have those faculty skills around the user stories, the documentation stories, your ability to break down a user story into use cases, the modeling, ability to understand the business processes, ability to innovate on optimizing those business processes into simple processes. Those are the skills which are highly wanted in the market. This particular exercise gives you an opportunity to sharpen those skills, and please utilize this opportunity of an internship to actually start writing user stories and user cases, and ability to model them also. You need to invest heavily in building those soft skills, ability to break down, ability to estimate, ability to create uh, test scenarios and test cases which can be traced back to the user stories and use cases. You also need to understand, when do you declare a project is completely done? When I say done, it is done and dusted. You're not going back to it unless there is a change in the requirements. Your ability to break down the PRD to user stories, to use cases, to a complete code developed, written, unit tested, integration tested, user accepted, and delivered. Once you deliver the use cases and signed up by the customer, you can say that the project or that particular sprint has been delivered and completed, or it is done. So your ability and skill lies in the quality of user stories you write, the ability to break down into atomic use cases, their ability to collaborate with various team members and the customers to see any changes are there, your ability to ensure that a particular sprint is done. So these are skills beyond just the development skills or the tech skills or the hard skills. Both are important. Nowadays, the importance is now split between the non-functional and the functional skills, because nowadays, many of the code is being written by the models themselves. So what do you do as a software developer? Your development skills lies in not necessarily on the tech skills, but also to develop a completely usable, scalable, future-proofed software or a web app. Next slide, please. So importance of user stories is something which you need to be very clear about it. And when you are following the agile methodologies and the user stories, it is important to follow a certain bare lean process, which is called as Kanban. Kanban is a Japanese term for the lean process, mostly used in the in the manufacturing space. And what is Kanban? It's a more of a visual workflow. If you visit any of the Japanese factories like a Maruti or a Toyota, You will find that everywhere there is a visual management in every shop floor, every work day, everywhere. So anybody and everybody can see the progress of a particular work task, where has been, what has been planned, what has been achieved, and every column represents a small package of work from where it is started, what is the current state, when is it expected to complete, what is the plan versus actual. It is a visual modeling tool to look at the progress of the work in a manufacturing sector, especially in the automobile sector. The same concept has been implemented in agile frameworks. There are a lot of YouTube videos on this. You can spend your time, small videos of 2 minutes, 3 minutes on Kanban. You can read it and implement it yourself. It's all about taking a bunch of stick pads, stick notes, and sticking on it and say that this is planned, this is done, this is not done, this is red, this is yellow, this is green. You can have various color codes on various milestones. Green is progress, yellow is danger, red is, it's like an absolutely showstop, a roadblock, and it has to be addressed immediately. So Kanban board, you can have it as a whiteboard in your room. There are a lot of digital Kanban tools available as a part of the project management tool, and those can also be implemented. you know you can use the digital tools, or you can use the manual tools to take it forward. So the core Kanban principles are three. One is that it shows the work in progress. Second is these are all visual tools. You can use any color, any form of highlighting it. And the primary objective of Kanban is to focus on the workflows, focus on the progress, what has been done and what is not be done, and what is to be done. There are various tools in the market. Jira is one famous tool, project management tool, work breakdown tool, project progress tool that can be used. Or in a simple, you can use your whiteboard and start sticking stickers on that. So I think for your project, I would recommend a whiteboard with some stickers. It's easy to implement, but it's a very beautiful visual tool to plan your project. Incidentally, I use Kanban board even for my day-to-day life. Today I know exactly what are the jobs I have planned for the day. I just stick to it right from morning. Like ordering something on Amazon, to going to a shop, to doing something basics at home. You know, having these sessions on time. My entire day is on a set of stickies on my whiteboards, and whatever has been done, I just pull off those papers, and what is not happened, I just carry forward for my next day. I look at it and say, why did I carry forward? Because there's a new day with a new set of activities. I don't like to carry forward any work. Rather, I'll finish it off within the day. So it's a visual tool. So I get so used to it nowadays. It's as simple as, watering my garden. I just put it on a stick board. Without stick boards, I can't plan my day. People make a fun of me. I can't even remember what next. But that's been a habit for the last 20, 30 years. I've been using visual management for managing my day. So Kanban is a very, I would say, life-changing, not necessarily for a software development, but you can use it for your day-to-day life. Next slide, please. So how do I do it? In your case, for the next 16 weeks, I just gave a sample breakdown of the work. Just break down entire 16 weeks into 4 to 6 sprints. Do a weekly stand-up. Do end of the week a meeting in terms of sprint review. So if it is a weekly sprint, then sprint review and daily stand-ups can be, monitored easily. But definitely at the end of 2 to 3 sprints, just have a look at yourself and say, were you on track? Were you not on track? Could you have done better? Could you have learned anything more? What is it that, the skill gap, the technology gap, the infrastructure gaps, the requirement gaps, what all gaps you have faced? Can you solve them? all those reviews and looking backwards, you need to follow it to the T every day, every week, right through your project life cycle. Because this is a life changing, this is a discipline. You need to build it for the next 20, 30, 40 years of your professional life. And once you do it, it becomes a part of your day-to-day life as well. And you become a way more organized and disciplined software engineer or an IT professional. So Agile for 16 weeks, I just gave a sort of a sample of it. You can follow it, or you can have your own plan for the next 10 to 12 to 16 weeks. But it's extremely important that you have that and you follow it to the T. Okay. What is also important is the role of a daily stand-up. Next slide, please. The daily stand-up, you need to do it like every day you wake up. Once you are at your desk, you need to ask these three questions mandatory. What did I accomplish yesterday? Is there any carry forward? What is the work planned for this week, for the day, and what are the roadblocks? These three are absolutely fundamental questions you need to ask, not only from a project life cycle, but actually from a personal life also. You have to be very sorted, you have to be very organized. Never, there is no off day in your life. I'm telling you guys, it's a personal experience for the last 37, 40 years of my professional life. There is no off day. Saturday, Sundays are the days where you not only live for your family and your friend, but also this is the time for you to fill up the gaps of the previous year, so that come Monday, you are a way better professional than what you were last week. So daily stand-up meetings are absolutely important for you to bring in that discipline. Next slide, please. So So once you get used to, the habit of agile, the Kanban, the daily stand-up meetings, and the values and the 4 values of agile, it's time for you to create a sprint plan for your internship project. Okay, follow these 5 steps, and my suggestion is pick up a colleague of yours. You may be knowing them. I would prefer having someone you don't know to be your review. Let them review your entire sprint in terms of completion, in terms of technology depth, in terms of the domain coverage, in terms of your ability to deliver on time, on cost, on scope, you know, and then review each other. It's very important that there is a peer review and cross review. You not only improve yourself, but you're also improving your own reviewing skills. And sooner or later you're going to hear from someone whom you don't know about, hey, Mr. X, you need to improve on this. Don't feel bad about it. These are all positive takeaways for you to improve your own quality of life of a professional. Okay, so create your own internship plan. Spend about 10 to 15 minutes once you have the plan. Another 10 to 15 minutes every day as a daily stand up. Look at yourself, plan your day, plan for tomorrow, look at your backlogs, do a weekly stand up review with your mentor, your project manager. Once in 2 weeks, do a retrospect meeting about what all could have been done better. Could you have done anything better? Did you waste any valuable resources like time and money, or resources like infrastructure, the cloud time? I think once you get any of these, you are a very organized, disciplined IT professional. Okay. So last slide, please. So this entire software engineering practice using agile is not only for an IT development, but also it's a life-changing process. So what did we learn today? It's all about these. You understood about the agile takeaways and the agile values. You also learned about the various Scrum roles, the product owner, the Scrum leader, the Scrum master, and the developer. You also understood what a user story is all about. It's just a plain English describing the business requirement. You also, got a view upon the visual management of your project, which is through a Kanban charts. You can use it as a whiteboard. You can use it as a digital board. A lot of software tools available for Kanban. My suggestion and my strong recommendation is break down your entire 16 weeks into every week and every week into an every day. I think key the key success lies in your ability to break it down to every week and every day, and that makes you so organized and disciplined you can never go wrong in your life, not only for this project but make it as a habit of your life. And finally, do a daily review in the morning. The first thing you should do is review your yesterday's job and plan for today. Make it skill. And I think, at the end of all these exercises, at the end of your project, I'm sure everybody would be like a super professional ready for the market.